this is a 1961 Gibson J45 that has had an interesting life, to say the least. And this is the first vintage guitar that I've ever bought. From what I know about it from the seller on Reverb, by the way, the seller on Reverb, Imaginary House Guitars, I will link him below. I told him I would send him a link because Jordan over there, he was super helpful for me. He gave me all kinds of information. He recorded a clip with this guitar. Really helped me buying a vintage guitar for the first time. So thanks, Jordan. Link below to check him out. He has vintage acoustic stuff on his Reverb shop. But from what I can tell from this guitar and from what I was told, this guitar has been refinished. So this finish is not this sort of natural, it kind of has a natural burst to it, is not the original finish. It has had a bridge replacement. This is not the original bridge. If you know these things, a lot of them came with the Gibson's adjustable bridge, and most people don't like that. And so this has been changed. Actually, you can see written, like kind of stamped into one of the pieces of wood in here, it says adjustable bridge on it. So that's what it had originally. So it's been refinished. It's been, the bridge has been replaced. I can tell just by looking at it that the neck has been reset. I can tell by looking at it that it's been refretted. I can also tell that whoever did those two things really knew what they were doing, because this thing plays effortless. I mean, this is one of the best playing acoustic guitars that I've ever played. And for a 60-year-old guitar, that is impressive. So whoever did the work on this thing did it right. But it's been refretted. It's had a neck reset, I'm fairly certain. It's had a pickup put in it. Look at that. They drilled a hole on the side. It's an undersaddle piezo pickup. I will tell you, I tried it and it sounds terrible. I don't know what the pickup is, but it does not sound good. I have an LR Baggs Anthem on the way to put in this thing. Obviously, you can see here sort of the biggest thing that you can tell is there's no pick guard. So here is my prediction about this is my hunch, what happened with this guitar. Many, many, many years ago, it went in to get maybe a neck reset done, because to do a neck reset, typically you would take the pick guard off. I've watched enough videos of people doing neck resets on old guitars. A lot of times they'll take the guard off because you have to heat the neck pocket to melt the glue to take the neck off. And a lot of times that will damage the pick guard. So often people will take the guard off, do the neck reset, put the guard back on. You can see here that whenever they decided to take this pick guard off, it went bad and it took a whole bunch of wood with it. There's a lot of material that's missing under here. It also feels like, if underneath, that they've done some reinforcement under this. This is solid. Like if I push on, I'm not going to push very hard, but if I push on this where this hole is, it's not moving at all. So this is solid, but my guess is what happened is when they pulled the pick guard off, they pulled a whole bunch of wood and material with it, at which point they probably decided to do the refinish, because this guitar would have had a cherry sunburst finish. And actually you can see, like on the inside of the sound hole right here, that was not the refinish. The original finish lives on the inside of the sound hole, and it's the same color as this back and side. So the bridge, like I said, has been replaced, and you can see the glue around where they did it. But they took the old adjustable bridge out, which most people don't like anyway, so that's a good thing in my opinion. They would have made a new saddle for it, potentially made a new nut. Yeah, so all of these things together, especially the missing pick guard and the hole in the top, made this purchase for me much more affordable than a early 60s J45 in better condition. So that was nice because it was cheaper, but man, this thing has a sound to it. My experience with playing vintage guitars has been not great in the past. The one that sticks out in my mind is when I was at Summer NAMM, Bradford and I went to Carter Vintage in Nashville. And we went in their acoustic room and we played a handful of like the most highly desirable vintage acoustics. Like we're talking 1930s Martin guitars, late 50s and early 60s Gibsons. And Brad and I walked away from that experience thinking like, none of those guitars really felt very good and none of them even really sounded that great. And so as I was thinking about buying a vintage acoustic guitar, that experience really made me worried. Now, why did I buy this thing? I bought this guitar solely for the purpose of creating an impulse response pack, an IR pack, acoustic IR pack with it. That's coming soon. My intention was then to flip the guitar and resell it, hopefully get out of it about what I paid for it. But at this point, I don't know if I can let this thing go because it's just got something special to it, and it just kind of sounds magical to me. Question though that I have, maybe you can help me with this. I actually found on Reverb a seller who makes custom pick guards, and he was going to help me with this. He said, yeah, I'll send you like PDFs that you can print out, you know, of the exact shape, and we'll get a shape that'll fit this cavity and cover up the hole. But at this point, I'm thinking like, I don't know if I want to cover this thing up. Should I put a pick guard on this or not? At this point, I'm thinking, I'm just going to leave it. The lack of the pick guard and the hole in the top has become part of this guitar's vibe at this point. I've always wondered what it's like to own or to play, you know, to have a guitar this old. It feels pretty delicate. It's really lightweight. You know, it's definitely the lightest weight acoustic guitar I have by a lot. And so, plus, you know, the fact that it's got the hole up here and the finish looks like it could just flake off at any point, but it's actually, you know, like I said, it feels like the checking a lot of it is underneath. I don't know how that's going, but yeah, it just feels really delicate and it sounds really sweet. A J45 isn't like a cannon of a guitar like a Martin D35 that I have is. And so everything about it just feels, you know, elegant in a way, delicate in a way, but it has just this depth to it when you play it. It just sounds really, really good. It's a lot of fun to play. So the next step for this guitar for me is to put an LR Baggs Anthem pickup in it. Like I said, I don't know if I can reuse this. I don't know if I want to use this. Right now, what this is just there's just you know, the wires from the undersaddle pickup are connected to this right here, and then there's a piezo in here. But the way the Anthem setup is there's a preamp that's like about like this long that is attached to this. So you really want, so at the inside of these guitars, there's a big block of wood right here that you drill into to install it. And I don't know what kind of wood is behind this hole, this pickup jack, or the cable jack here. And so if you put like a big preamp on it with a cable, it could break that pretty easily. So I don't think I'm gonna use this. I think I'm gonna put it here, sort of where it traditionally goes. But yeah, like I said, there's already a piezo in here, so I'm just going to replace it with the piezo element that comes with the bag's pickup, and so I can play it live in church. And I use the actual output of the guitar to make the IR pack, so I need that anyway. So it's going to get a piezo, or it's going to get a pickup in it. The Anthem. The setup on it is great. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to change anything about it. I'm just going to let it keep getting older and older and sounding better and better. And maybe this is like an heirloom piece that I'll pass down to Seth. I was like, Seth, if you own this guitar one day, it'll be 100 years old when you own it. That's pretty cool. He goes, yeah, that is cool, Dad. So that's maybe the plan for this. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up selling it one day. Could be yours if you like it and it goes for sale one day. Maybe you could go for it. But in the meantime, it's going to stay here at Worship Tutorials, and we'll feature it in some videos alongside these absolutely stunning McPherson acoustics. We're going to make acoustics great again. I keep posting that on whenever I post acoustic something, you know, pictures or clips or whatever. Make acoustics great. We've done a lot of electric guitar content on the channel, but I am an acoustic guitar player, like, at heart. That's what I originally always did, was played acoustic. I never even really played electric guitar, so I started working at New Hope Church, which was about 7-8 years ago. So I've really kind of learned how to play electric guitar in the past 7-ish years. But I love playing acoustic guitar. It's a lot of fun. And it's something that you can just take down on the couch and play. You can with an electric too, but it's not quite the same. Listen to that thing. Sounds good. Feels good. Plays good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as we have sort of checked out, talked about, you know, gone down the road with this 60-ish, almost year-old Gibson J45. What a cool guitar. Let me ask you, do you own any vintage guitars? If you do, I have a feeling this is going to send me down a long and expensive road. I've been talking with my buddy Jonathan HW over at Tone Junkie, who's really gotten into the vintage thing lately. And I said, Jonathan, am I going down an expensive trail here? And he goes, oh yeah, you're definitely going down. This won't be your last. So do you own vintage stuff? If you do, what's your thoughts on it? How did you get it? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.